Imagine this. You've spent decades working, raising a family, paying bills, and finally you've reached that golden milestone, retirement. But here's the question that keeps many of us awake at night. How much money do you really need to retire comfortably? Let's be honest, retirement isn't just about stopping work. It's about living with peace of mind, enjoying your golden years, and not worrying about whether you can pay your bills. Now, comfort means different things to different people. Some dream of traveling the world, others just want to relax in a cozy home with their morning coffee, a good book, and a backyard garden. Whatever your dream looks like, the numbers matter, and understanding them is the first step toward a stress-free retirement. Let's start with some basic annual budget examples. Imagine 3 retirees, each with different spending abilities. Case 1, $40,000 per year. Case 2, $60,000 per year. Case 3, $100,000 per year. These numbers aren't random. They reflect common retirement incomes in the U.S., Social Security payments, savings withdrawals, and small pensions. But what do these numbers actually buy in real life? Let's break it down. Housing. Housing is usually the biggest retirement expense. This includes mortgage or rent, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Let's meet our first retiree. Linda, 68, lives in Phoenix, Arizona. She owns a modest home outright. Her mortgage is gone, but she still pays property taxes, homeowners insurance, and maintenance costs. On a $40,000 annual budget, she spends roughly $12,000 a year on her house. That includes $3,500 for property taxes, $1,500 for insurance, and $7,000 for upkeep, things like roof repairs, plumbing, and lawn care. Linda can live comfortably here because she owns her home. If she were renting, those costs could easily be $15,000 to $18,000 a year, which would strain a $40,000 budget. Next, consider James and Maria, both 70, living in Charlotte, North Carolina, on a $60,000 annual budget. They rent a mid-sized condo in a quiet neighborhood. Rent and utilities take about $18,000 a year. Add insurance, maintenance, and small renovations, and housing consumes about 30% of their retirement income. Still manageable because they have extra for healthcare and leisure. Finally, Robert, 65, and his wife Susan, 67, retired in Seattle, Washington, aim for a $100,000 annual budget. They live in a larger, modern home in a safe suburb. Even with a mortgage and high property taxes, housing consumes around $25,000 to $30,000 of their budget, but that leaves room for travel, hobbies, and dining out. Here, owning a home gives them security, and they can choose the level of comfort they want. Housing isn't just a number, it's the foundation of your retirement. Owning your home outright dramatically reduces costs, but even renting can be manageable if planned carefully. Healthcare. Next comes healthcare. This is where many seniors underestimate expenses. Medicare covers a lot, but not everything. Out-of-pocket costs, prescriptions, dental, vision, and supplemental insurance can add up quickly. Let's return to Linda in Phoenix. She's on Medicare Part A and B, and she buys a Medigap plan to cover what Medicare doesn't. Her total healthcare costs are about $6,000 per year, including premiums, copays, prescriptions, and occasional doctor visits. She's healthy, but she also has a few chronic conditions like high blood pressure, which means regular medication. James and Maria in Charlotte spend about $8,500 annually on healthcare. They have more medical needs. Maria takes insulin for diabetes and James has mild arthritis. Their Medicare supplements are a bit pricier, but they budget carefully to avoid surprises. Robert and Susan in Seattle spend around $12,000 per year on healthcare. They've opted for more comprehensive plans, including dental and vision coverage, because they want no limitations on treatment. On a $100,000 annual budget, this is comfortable, but on a $40,000 budget, it would be nearly impossible without insurance planning. Healthcare costs increase with age, so factoring them into your retirement plan is crucial. For someone retiring at 65, planning $5,000 to $15,000 a year is realistic, depending on health and lifestyle. Food and groceries. Food may seem simple, but it's a bigger slice of the retirement pie than you might think. Eating well, buying healthy groceries, and occasionally dining out all add up. Linda's $40,000 budget allows about $6,000 a year for food, roughly $500 per month. She shops smart, buys in bulk, and occasionally splurges on a nice dinner. Her meals are healthy, her pantry full, and she doesn't feel deprived. James and Maria spend $9,000 annually on food. They cook at home most of the time but enjoy dining out once or twice a week. On a $60,000 budget, this feels comfortable and leaves room for occasional indulgences. Robert and Susan on a $100,000 budget spend $15,000 a year on food. They enjoy premium groceries, organic produce, and dining experiences. They can host family dinners or try new restaurants without worrying about the cost. Food is more than calories, it's part of your lifestyle. Budgeting wisely ensures you enjoy meals without feeling financially constrained. Transportation. Retirement transportation costs vary widely depending on location and lifestyle. Owning a car, gas, insurance, and maintenance are all part of the picture. Linda drives a modest sedan in Phoenix. Her annual transportation cost is about $4,000. Insurance, fuel, and occasional repairs. She doesn't commute for work, which keeps costs low. James and Maria have 2 cars in Charlotte. They budget $6,500 a year for gas, insurance, and maintenance. They enjoy visiting friends and family nearby, so transportation is important. Robert and Susan live in Seattle and rely on a combination of cars and public transport. Their costs reach $10,000 annually because they travel frequently and maintain higher-end vehicles. Transportation may seem small compared to housing or healthcare, but it's essential to factor in mobility, especially for those who want to travel or explore hobbies. Travel and lifestyle. Even on a moderate budget, retirement isn't just about survival. It's about enjoying life. Travel, hobbies, entertainment, and social activities are all part of a fulfilling retirement. Linda keeps travel simple. With a $40,000 budget, she takes one small vacation a year, visits nearby family, and attends local events. She budgets $2,500 annually for leisure, which is enough for a comfortable lifestyle. James and Maria plan a few trips annually, including flights and hotel stays. On $60,000 a year, they allocate $6,000 for leisure. They balance home life with adventures, creating memories without overspending. Robert and Susan enjoy luxury travel. Cruises, international vacations, and weekend getaways. On a $100,000 budget, they spend $15,000 a year on travel and experiences, fully enjoying the fruits of their lifelong savings. Here's where we pause to reflect. On a $40,000 budget, you can live comfortably if your housing is manageable, healthcare is planned, and you budget carefully for food and leisure. At $60,000, you gain flexibility, more travel, and extra comfort. At $100,000, you enjoy nearly unrestricted lifestyle choices. But here's the secret: it's not just about the number. It's about planning, prioritizing, and knowing where your money goes. Each category, housing, healthcare, food, transportation, travel, can be adjusted to fit your goals. The choices you make today determine whether retirement feels like freedom or stress. As we start looking closer, you'll see how these numbers interact. How a small increase in healthcare or housing costs can eat into your leisure budget. How unexpected events, like home repairs or medical emergencies, can challenge even the best-laid plans. And most importantly, you'll learn strategies to make any budget work, whether $40,000 or $100,000. Linda, James, Maria, Robert, and Susan all demonstrate that retirement is not a one-size-fits-all journey. Each has different priorities, different spending patterns, and different dreams. Yet, their financial experiences teach us something universal: preparation is power. Next, we'll dive deeper into lifestyle adjustments, strategies for stretching your retirement dollars, and ways to enjoy your golden years fully, including travel, hobbies, and unexpected costs. By understanding the real numbers behind retirement, you'll gain confidence in your planning and see that comfort isn't just a dream, it's achievable. White heavy check mark, 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 white heavy check mark. As we left off, Linda, James, Maria, Robert, and Susan had all settled into retirement with different budgets, lifestyles, and priorities. They had covered housing, healthcare, food, and transportation. But retirement is not just about survival, it's about thriving. Now comes the exciting part: how to stretch your dollars, enjoy your passions, and make sure your golden years are truly golden. Travel and leisure. Travel is often the first thing retirees think about when imagining retirement bliss. For some, it's about visiting family, for others, exploring new countries or cities. But travel costs can sneak up if not planned. Linda, on her $40,000 budget, chooses travel wisely. She takes 1 week-long vacation each year to visit her daughter in California. By booking flights early, choosing budget-friendly accommodations, and using travel rewards points from her credit cards, she spends just about $2,500 annually. She also enjoys local day trips, a weekend camping trip with friends, or visiting nearby national parks. These small adventures enrich her life without breaking her budget. James and Maria, with $60,000 a year, enjoy more flexibility. They take 2 trips a year, a week in Florida and a 5-day cruise to the Caribbean. Their combined travel expenses are around $6,000 annually. To manage costs, they plan months ahead, track deals, and use travel points accumulated from past spending. This allows them to enjoy the comfort of hotels and leisure activities without worry. Robert and Susan, living on $100,000, can travel luxuriously. They go on international cruises, fly business class occasionally, and stay in 4-star hotels. Their travel budget is about $15,000 a year. While this sounds extravagant, it's fully within their planned lifestyle. They also maintain a balance, ensuring they don't compromise other areas like healthcare or home maintenance. The lesson here: regardless of budget, travel is achievable with planning. It doesn't require a lottery win. It requires smart choices and prioritization. Hobbies and lifestyle. Beyond travel, hobbies and personal interests are central to a fulfilling retirement. Linda enjoys painting, reading, and gardening. Her hobby budget is modest, about $1,000 a year, but it brings immense joy and fulfillment. She even sells a few of her paintings locally, which offsets some expenses. James and Maria take up golf, wine tasting, and local theater. Their $2,500 annual hobby budget allows them to explore multiple activities while socializing and staying active. Staying mentally and physically engaged is a huge factor in retirement satisfaction, and their budget reflects that. Robert and Susan have an even more expansive lifestyle: golf, sailing, cooking classes, and philanthropic activities. Their $6,000 yearly budget for hobbies allows them to invest in experiences, memberships, and occasional indulgences. Notice how lifestyle expenses scale with income, but the principle is the same. Allocate money to what brings joy, prioritize health, and keep social connections strong. Inflation and rising costs. One factor many retirees overlook is inflation. The cost of living increases over time, sometimes subtly, sometimes sharply. Housing, healthcare, and groceries tend to rise faster than general inflation. Linda's fixed $40,000 budget is more sensitive to inflation. For example, if her grocery bill rises from $500 to $550 per month, that's $600 extra annually. Healthcare costs could increase as she ages. Her solution: Keep an emergency buffer of 5 to 10% of her income, reduce discretionary spending temporarily if necessary, and look for discounts on essentials. James and Maria face similar challenges, though their $60,000 budget gives them more flexibility. They track inflation by adjusting their budget every year and reassessing priorities. For example, they may limit one vacation or choose local entertainment over expensive theater tickets if costs rise. Robert and Susan's $100,000 lifestyle is still affected by inflation, though they have more leeway. Their approach is proactive. They invest part of their retirement savings in low-risk growth options to offset inflation, and they maintain a luxury buffer for unexpected expenses. The takeaway: inflation is inevitable, but planning ahead, reviewing your budget annually, and adjusting spending can protect your comfort. Long-term planning and unexpected costs. Life throws curveballs. Home repairs, medical emergencies, or family obligations can disrupt even the best plans. Retirees need a strategy for unexpected costs. Linda keeps $10,000 in a savings account as an emergency fund. When her water heater broke unexpectedly, she replaced it without touching her core budget. Simple, predictable planning gave her peace of mind. James and Maria also maintain an emergency fund, about $20,000, and supplement it with insurance coverage. Their strategy includes preventive health checks and annual home maintenance to reduce costly surprises. Robert and Susan, with higher income, maintain both an emergency fund and a small investment cushion. They even set aside funds for charitable giving, knowing they can handle surprises without stress. Unexpected costs are less about fear and more about preparation. The better your planning, the more resilient your retirement. Adjusting for comfort and lifestyle. Every retiree must make trade-offs. For Linda, $40,000 requires prioritizing essentials: housing, healthcare, and food. Leisure comes second. But she's still comfortable. She enjoys small luxuries, maintains social connections, and has security. James and Maria have more flexibility. Their $60,000 budget allows a balance between essentials and discretionary spending. They can enjoy vacations, hobbies, and social outings without constant worry. Robert and Susan live lavishly by choice, not necessity. Their $100,000 budget provides comfort, travel, and experiences while keeping essential security intact. The key lesson: comfort isn't just the number, it's how you manage and allocate resources. Prioritize what matters, plan for surprises, and adjust as life changes. Social Security, savings, and supplemental income. Social Security remains a cornerstone of retirement income for most Americans. For Linda, it provides $25,000 annually. She supplements this with part-time consulting and savings withdrawals to reach her $40,000 goal. James and Maria rely on $35,000 from Social Security and their 401k withdrawals to reach $60,000. They monitor their portfolio to ensure longevity of funds. Robert and Susan draw $45,000 from Social Security, pensions, and $55,000 from investments to maintain their $100,000 lifestyle. Diversification of income sources gives them security and flexibility. This shows that retirement income planning isn't about a single source. It's a mix. Social Security, savings, pensions, and part-time work or consulting can combine to make any lifestyle sustainable. Planning for long-term care. No one likes to think about needing care later in life, but it's crucial. Linda considers basic in-home care if needed. She budgets a small portion of her savings for this possibility. James and Maria purchase a long-term care insurance policy. At $2,500 annually, it protects against unexpected nursing or assisted living costs. Robert and Susan plan for the highest level of care. They have insurance, savings, and flexible investments to cover assisted living or medical needs without disrupting their lifestyle. The lesson is clear: anticipate future needs. A proactive approach prevents financial stress when health circumstances change. Bringing it all together. Retirement is a complex mix of numbers, choices, and priorities. Housing, healthcare, food, transportation, leisure, and unexpected costs all interweave. Linda demonstrates that $40,000 can provide comfort if prioritized carefully. James and Maria show that $60,000 allows balance and flexibility. Robert and Susan illustrate how $100,000 opens doors to expanded experiences while still planning responsibly. No matter the budget, three principles matter most. Prioritize essentials: housing, healthcare, and food first. Plan for surprises. Emergencies, repairs, and unexpected costs are inevitable. Invest in joy. Travel, hobbies, and social connection are non-negotiable for quality of life. By understanding your numbers, planning for inflation, and being realistic about lifestyle choices, retirement doesn't have to be stressful. It can be a time of freedom, exploration, and fulfillment. Final thoughts. Comfortable retirement is achievable at any income level if approached with planning, awareness, and flexibility. It's not just about money, it's about making choices aligned with values and priorities. Linda, James, Maria, Robert, and Susan all provide lessons. Manage housing costs, prepare for healthcare, budget wisely for food and leisure, anticipate surprises, and embrace your passions. Retirement isn't a single number, it's a carefully crafted journey. With clear planning and thoughtful budgeting, your golden years can truly shine. Whether your retirement budget is $40,000, $60,000, or $100,000, the key is living intentionally, protecting yourself from risk, and enjoying life fully. So, take a deep breath, review your numbers, and plan for comfort. The golden years aren't just a dream. With the right strategy, they're a reality waiting to be lived.